Is wholesaling a good way to get started in real estate investing? Let's find out inside. My name is Lyle Leeds with DFW Top, which stands for Design for Winners. That's you to optimize profitability. That's what you want to do. So welcome to my channel. Hope you enjoy it. This is for real estate investors. We're going to talk about real estate investing, business, and of course, marketing. That's part of the whole process, right? All right, so today we're going to talk about wholesaling. What is wholesaling? Let's start there. Wholesaling is when you purchase the rights to a contract that you're going to sell those rights to that contract. So you're locking up a house. That's called locked up. That means you have the first rights to purchase that house. You're locking up the rights to that house, and you have a contract that says you're going to purchase that house. Technically, you should be buying the house. That should be your intention. But with wholesaling, the idea is to pass that contract along to someone else. So you're flipping the contract instead of flipping the house. And some people say, well, that's a safe way to do things, right? We'll talk about that in a minute, okay? But first, wholesaling. How do you find deals? That's the first hardest part about anything when you're starting any kind of business. How do you find the properties? How do you find the products that you're getting, right? And so let's talk about properties. Some people do what's called driving for dollars. We call it DFD. You're driving for dollars, you're driving around, you're trying to find houses that are empty so you can find the owner, so you can make a deal and buy that house for really cheap and then sell it for a better price. But you just want to flip the contract. You don't want to actually own the house. So they think it's better. Some people go to Zillow and they take the Zillow numbers, and there's a house for $200,000 and they offer the person $150,000. If they take it, they go and sell the contract for $160,000, right? So they just put whatever number they want to in there, trying to make the deal happen for themselves. Now you got to be careful. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're doing wholesaling and you want to work with real estate investors, really strong real estate investors, make sure you're not putting too much money in your own pocket that the real estate investor's not getting any money. You're not leaving what they call meat on the bone, okay? That's coming from a real estate investor who works with wholesalers. I want to work with more people, but I don't want greedy people because I want us to work together and make some deals. As a matter of fact, if you work with me as a wholesaler and I make more money than I expect, I will come back and give you more money because you gave me a really good deal. It's that simple. That's just what I do because I'm a person of integrity. I think that's powerful. But anyway, getting aside from there. So what is wholesaling? What else can you do? Number one is the key strategy that you have as a wholesaler. You ready for it? The skill you need to develop above all those skills is negotiation. You've got to be able to negotiate those deals down to a certain amount and then negotiate those deals to someone else so they can pick up that deal and then purchase that deal at a discount from that person. That's ultimately what you're doing. You're negotiating your contract. Now, you got to be very, very, very careful. I live in Texas. In Texas, we have very specific real estate laws. So if you're acting like a real estate agent, you're finding a house for someone specifically, got to be very cautious about that. You can't do that in Texas. The TREC will come down hard and you'll get all these lawsuits and all that stuff, and I'm not even going to get into the loss part of that. But there are ways to do that. You find a contract, you flip that contract to an investor that you have a relationship with. The key is relationships. Relationships come out of negotiations, out of talking to people. That's how it goes, okay? And there's a strategy called co-wholesaling, where you have buyers and somebody else has sellers and you'll put them together and everything. Again, be very cautious because you're acting like a real estate agent in that part. And when you're co-wholesaling, you could be taken advantage of. As a matter of fact, if you're a wholesaler, I highly suggest you have an NDA, which is a non-disclaimer agreement, which means if you tell them about the property, you tell them about the house, the address, they can't go buy it from you, because I've seen a lot of people do that. They scam wholesalers. They say, oh yeah, send me all your addresses, and then they go to those addresses and they offer the same price or even less sometimes on a deal, and they get those deals from you. That's called scalping. We don't want you to do that. So make sure you're protecting yourself. You have an NDA. If you don't have one of those, reach out to me. We'll have a conversation. We can talk about that offline, not on YouTube, so you have to reach out to me directly if we're going to do that. But make sure you know what you're getting into. Now, we talked about laws, right? Chicago recently passed a law that you can only do 1 or 2 wholesaling deals a year. Otherwise, you've got to have an actual license, a real estate license. So that may happen to where you have to have a real estate license in order to flip these contracts, because and ultimately what you're doing is you're taking a house, you're saying, I'm going to buy this house, here's the contract, and you're selling the contract. So what you're doing is the homeowner is under the assumption you're going to buy that house. If you don't buy that house, you're tying up that house for a period of time where that homeowner could have sold it to someone else. That's really where the issues come in. If your intention is not to purchase the house, it's to purchase the contract. Make sure you're communicating that directly to the people you deal with. So if I'm getting a house, say, hey, look, I'm gonna let you know this is the price I'm gonna get, but I'm gonna go talk to some of my friends. Some of them may purchase this house for that price. Is it okay if I make a little bit of money when I do that? Be upfront. Always, always, always be a person of high integrity. That's how you should always do business, especially if you're in the business of real estate and especially if you're in the business of wholesaling. Now, here's a big myth out there, okay? The myth is, if I flip the contract, there's no liability on me whatsoever. Whether you double close, which means you close and then immediately close and pass it on to somebody else, or you single close where you close and all the information's there, the signers and sellers both sign on the contract and they both realize how much money you're getting. Whether you single close or double close, doesn't matter. What matters is you've been part of the transaction. If something happens down the line, that they find out something went wrong with that house, let's say that somebody bought a house for $500,000, but the house was only worth $400,000, and this person went into foreclosure and their house they bought it for $500,000. Now they're in over their head. They can actually file lawsuits if they go through foreclosure because you upped the price because you got paid on the deal. When you get paid on a deal, you become part of the transaction. Somebody's not handing you $5,000 and taking the contract from you. You're transacting from one person to another. So that is a huge myth. Yes, there is liability in wholesaling. You are part of the transaction, and when you sell it to someone, you do not know what that someone's going to do. If that someone messes with the house and they fix it up and it looks good, but they don't actually fix the bones of the house and the house falls down and somebody gets hurt, you're still part of the transaction of that person getting the house. You're still in the transaction liability. It is a huge legal thing. I know people say, well, I have insurance that covers that. Insurance doesn't matter when it comes to the consumer rights action. So if you want to check your insurance and then check consumer rights, you can put those together and you're going to find a lot of issues there. So is wholesaling the safest way to get started? Not always. It's okay to get started in real estate investing as a wholesaler, but make sure you're doing it on the up and up. Make sure you know all the ins and outs. Make sure you're being educated. Don't just go in there to one of these little, if you're paying $97 for a course online and they're going to tell you everything you need to know about wholesaling, you're in the wrong place because they're making their money on you, paying them for that course. They're not making money on real estate. If somebody's making money on real estate, they're not going to sell you this $97 course. They're going to realize the value they have in that opportunity. Okay, if you want a real way to get started in real estate investing, you want a real way to step your feet in there that's bigger than just wholesaling. If you're like, I just do wholesaling because I need money so I can do the next step, I want to show you a way we could do that. I want to show you a way where you can earn some money, put some money in your pocket, and while you're doing that, you can start getting into deals for yourself without any money in the deal. Okay, reach out to me. You can go to dfwtop.com/Lyle. You can see my page there, or you can just go to calendly.com, Lyle, and schedule with me directly, and let's have a conversation. Let's see how we can get you the next step in your real estate investing business. Again, I'm Lyle. Great to meet you. This page is designed for winners. That's you, to optimize profitability. That's what you want to do. Make sure you comment below, subscribe if you haven't. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great day.